Looking live at the Loop 101. Off in the distance, you can see the University of Phoenix Stadium, where game action will take place today, 2:15. Cards v. Rams.
Big game.
A big game. And here to talk about that and so much more, Jeff and Russ from FantasyFootballStarters.com. Hey, guys.
Good morning, Carrie.
You know, before we get to, we have a lot to talk about, but can we just touch on the Plaxico Burress issue first?
Man.
What are your thoughts about this?
Well, I'll tell you, other than the fact that the guy's a complete idiot for doing that, I mean, let's just be real honest here, putting himself in jeopardy, his team in jeopardy, things like that. I mean, that's just something that I think is going to really impact the Giants overall. What do you think, Russ?
Well, I think that Plaxico Burress probably isn't going to be back with the New York Giants after this. Tom Coughlin doesn't put up with this type of shenanigans very easily on his football teams historically. And Plaxico Burress should have known better. It's illegal to carry a weapon in the city of New York. Even if you have the permit for it, it's illegal to carry it. Taking it out to a club, what was he thinking?
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, it's kind of sad if you think about it.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, so we want to talk about the players that you say need to be played, starting with Manning.
Yep, Peyton Manning is a great play this week. We think that he's going to go for probably about 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns. He's got a good matchup against Cincinnati. It's been tough to figure out the Colts this year, Carrie, because they've been so up and down. But as they start to get closer to the playoffs, good matchup at home, we think Peyton's going to have a big game. And then another player is Adrian Peterson, the running back of the Minnesota Vikings. We predict for him to go for about 160 yards and a touchdown, playing at Detroit, winless Detroit Lions, so we look for them to rack up some yards. And then on the wide receiver play, definitely Randy Moss. Going into Seattle, the Patriots have a good matchup. Russ will talk a little bit about the quarterback situation, but we predict for Randy Moss probably to get over 85 yards and a touchdown as well.
Okay, the ones you say bench, Hasselbeck, and he's having a hard time coming back from a back injury, right?
Yeah, he suffered a bulging disc injury in his back earlier this season, and that kept him out for several games earlier this year. Well, it flared up on him in practice this week. He's not going to play today. It's going to be Seneca Wallace starting for the Seattle Seahawks, so just avoid the Seattle Seahawks altogether this week. At running back, Clinton Portis, the running back for the Washington Redskins, great season he's having so far, but he's added a neck stinger injury to the oblique and knee injuries that he already had. That happened last week, so he's going to play tonight, but it's a bad matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. You don't want any part of it in your fantasy teams. And finally, at wide receiver, Braylon Edwards, the wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. He had such a great season last year, but this year he's had a bad case of the drops. He's dropped a lot of passes, and now he's on his third new starting quarterback. Ken Dorsey steps in. Dorsey doesn't have the big-time arm to really get the ball downfield to a guy like Braylon Edwards, who does most of his damage downfield. So stay away from Braylon Edwards this week.
All right, now let's talk some Cardinals, starting with Hightower.
Yeah.
You know, he really came out strong, but he's had a couple of rough games. I was reading that he said he really needs to concentrate on not getting frustrated early.
Exactly. That's a good point, Carrie. We think he's going to have a big game, especially the last matchup against the Rams, he had a really good game too, Russ. So it's at home. We all know that the Cardinals are playing for something real big here. We think Hightower's a great play this week.
Are you guys nervous about today's game?
Not at all.
Not at all. The Cardinals wrap up a playoff spot today.
Yeah? You think so?
Oh, yeah. They'll clinch the NFC West with a win today.
Okay. And gift card giveaway?
You got it. We've got an interesting giveaway. Go ahead, Russ. Tell them this one.
Well, the question this week is, name the two running backs who combined for over 230 rushing yards last week and 4 touchdowns against the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, that's
Name
almost a
both
giveaway
running backs.
Email Jeff at Fantasy Football Starters. First person to give us the answer, Carrie, they get those cards.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you. As always, pleasure to have you on the show. Great tips for everyone. And if you guys haven't seen their website, it's really a good website. I've been enjoying getting, educated on the whole fantasy football situation. So as I've been saying, by next season, I'll actually be good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You are good. You've got great questions. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you guys so much.